This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
White noise whispers through my veins. 1,000 ghosts repeating my name. I reach through static, but nothing replies. Just the hum of silence beneath my eyes. Every truth is a code.
Following program is rated MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, it doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, I totally agree with that comment. It does not matter who the host is. What has always mattered is who the listeners are. Anyways, today is Wednesday, which is Whip 'em Out Wednesday of, February the 11th of 2026 is what it sounds like. Okay, so we are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM, and then hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there.
Freeform radio never sounded this great. Or has it? Radio Big.
Oh, yes. Freeform radio. You know how it goes. It's the way that everything happens along those lines.
Listening to this radio show is not recommended for people who take everything seriously. The show starts now.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend if you take everything seriously not to listen to this show. I totally agree with those comments. Okay, so let's talk about this. Our show consists of safety in the news and safety in case you're not aware of this. We talk to some professional broadcasters. They tell you exactly what the hell's going on inside of the world of the multiverse as we go through the whole plethora of things as we are going around and all that kind of fun stuff. If you want to interact with the show, easy process on doing so. All you have to do is go to callinradio.com. That's callinradio.com. Once you get there, audio, video, text messaging are the opciones of the things that you're able to do. And that's it. And then we kind of come back with some level of main story, and then we get you the hell out of here. This is hour 1 of a 3-hour show, so let me explain what that means. Hour 2 and 3 are exclusive to RadioBig.fm. We talk about entertainment and music news during that time. Hour 1 is the serious portion that we deem the Rated R Safety Show. It is also the only portion that is video streamed and simulcasted, meaning that we're on multiple platforms all at the same time. During this one, of course, we slap a podcast together for hour 1 as well. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on right there during that first aura or hour, if I may, because of that. So just a little information there if you're good with that. So if you're good, we could do this. We can bring in our friends from Feature Story News. We can get the show on the road in regards of what's going on, have them talk to you a little bit about what is happening with the world, because it is a crazy place sometimes. And we can start getting through that. So if you're good with it, I'm good with it, and we can get it moving right away. No, seriously, like right away. Like, let's not waste any time.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in Brussels, I'm William Denslow. 9 people have died in a shooting at a school and a nearby home in Western Canada. Officials say more than 25 people were injured in the attack in Tumbler Ridge in British Columbia. Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney has cancelled a trip to the Munich Security Conference following the shooting. Vancouver journalist Shrashti Gangdev says details remain limited on the suspect, whose body was found at the school.
We know that a bulletin went out early Tuesday afternoon warning people to be on the lookout for what police described as a female with brown hair. We know that police have recovered the suspect's remains at the scene, and they said that the suspect's description matched up to the person that they found. They're not telling us the person's age. They're not telling us their gender.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is expected to push for wider negotiations with Iran that go beyond the country's nuclear program when he meets US President Trump in Washington on Wednesday. Blake Sifton reports from Tel Aviv.
Netanyahu met Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner on Tuesday to discuss the first round of Iran talks. Netanyahu is expected to urge Trump to widen the scope of nuclear negotiations and push against any deal that does not include limits on Iran's ballistic missiles and support for regional proxy groups. Iran has repeatedly said its missile program is non-negotiable, and a foreign ministry spokesperson warned against what he called Israel's destructive influence on the talks with the United States.
China's lashed out at the United Kingdom's decision to expand a visa program for Hong Kong residents, calling it despicable. Britain made the announcement following the sentencing of pro-democracy media mogul Jimmy Lai to 20 years in prison under a national security law. Laura Westbrook reports.
The United Kingdom announced that the British National Overseas or B&O visa scheme would allow children of status holders at the time of the 1997 handover to be able to apply for the route independently of their parents. It was in response to a 20-year prison sentence by vocal critic of Beijing Jimmy Lai. The 78-year-old founder of the now shuttered Apple Daily newspaper was convicted of conspiring to collude with foreign forces and a separate charge of sedition in his high-profile national security trial. The Chinese embassy in London called the visa expansion reprehensible and interference in China's internal affairs. The scheme was launched in 2021 after Beijing imposed a sweeping national security law on Hong Kong. Since then, more than 160,000 Hong Kongers have moved to the UK.
And India's rolling out new rules requiring social media companies to take down what it calls illegal and harmful content in under 3 hours. The new rules also require companies to remove AI-generated deepfakes in under 2 hours, fueling concerns about passive censorship among activists. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks, with more today from Congressman Ro Khanna. He's the Democrat from California who co-authored the law requiring the US government to publish every document in its possession relating to the deceased sex trafficking financier Jeffrey Epstein. The last week has seen turmoil in Britain caused by the release of 3 million pages of raw investigative data, as both Andrew Mountbatten Windsor and the UK's former ambassador to the US, Lord Peter Mandelson, have faced fresh questions about their respective friendships with Epstein. Both deny wrongdoing, but Congressman Khanna says they should be forced to testify before Congress.
The British have been our biggest ally, and this breach is hurting the relationship. What the former prince did and what Mendelsohn did it is a terrible look with most Americans. And I would think the British Prime Minister himself would say, for the sake of the strong U.S.-Britain relationship, we're going to make sure that Mendelsohn gives an explanation to the United States Congress and that the former prince does. There has to be a clear accountability of what these people did.
But as he knows, any witness coming before the Oversight Committee can emulate the example this week of Ghislaine Maxwell and plead the Fifth Amendment to protect themselves and provide Congress with no evidence to assist its probe.
The main news again. 9 people have died in a shooting at a school and a nearby home in Western Canada. Officials say more than 25 people were injured injured in the attack in Tumbler Ridge in British Columbia. Israel's Prime Minister is expected to push for wider negotiations with Iran that go beyond the country's nuclear program when he meets President Trump in Washington later Wednesday. And China's lashed out at the United Kingdom's decision to expand a visa program for Hong Kong residents, calling it despicable. And that's the latest feature story news. William Denslow reporting.
Listen to our host of the Rated R Safety Show self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
It's always amazing to me on how technology changes, and so does the environment that we're in. And cyber criminals will do everything they can to take advantage of a system. If you don't own a home, you have nothing to fear about what I'm about to tell you. But if you own a home like me and you don't guard it with home title lock, you're inviting home title fraud. One of the fastest growing crimes. Cyber thieves around the world know our home values are sky high at the moment, and that makes us a target. The crime is scary simple. Let me explain it to you real quick. A cyber thief simply forges your name on a property sale form and refiles it. That's it. Now he or she is on the deed of your home and you have no idea that you're a victim. Then the person takes out a loan on your home and vanishes, leaving you to prove to the police that you didn't commit bank fraud. Home Title Locks puts a virtual barrier around your home title. The instant they detect any kind of tampering or anybody messing around, they help shut it down. Look, if you have equity in your home, you need to guard it the best way that you can. Some people might even go as far as guarding it with their life. Go to HometitleLock.com and register your address to see if you already are a victim. And enter the code RADIO. That's RADIO. That's the code RADIO for 30 days free of protection. That's code RADIO at HometitleLock.com.
This isn't a safety manual. It's a transmission. Jay Allen, PhD, host of the Rated R Safety Show and founder of Safety FM, has spent years pulling back the curtain on the systems we work in. and the ones we don't talk about. What started as a fatal crash on the 405 became a search for truth. Through behavior-based safety, human and organizational performance, simulation theory, and everything in between. Safety, in my opinion, is raw, reflective, and real. From burnout to breakthroughs, from the matrix to the moment someone says, "This doesn't feel right." This book doesn't give you answers. It gives you the signal. Safety, in my opinion. Available now, wherever books and audiobooks are found.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
Oh, yes, some risky business for sure as we are doing our thing, no doubt about that. So there you go. Anyway, it's currently 15 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out. So let's get into it. Always some interesting times as we are talking. So let's get into some of the news stories that I was able to get together this morning for us to hang out and talk. A single-engine plane made a white-knuckle landing on a busy Georgia road. Yeah, I did say that. And somehow avoided catastrophe. The Hawker Beach Chart Bonanza lost its engine power shortly after takeoff on Monday in Gainesville Lee Gilmer Memorial Airport. The pilots tried to turn back, but it had no juice to make it. So they brought the plane down on Browns Bridge Road, one of the main traffic arteries in northeast Atlanta. During the scare, air traffic control audio captured one pilot bracing for the worst, asking controllers to tell the wife and parents that he loved them. More than 10 minutes later, the tone changed. "We're going to be fine." The plane clipped 3 vehicles, knocking a fuel tank into one of them. Also, 2 people were taken to the hospital with minor injuries. No power lines were hit. No one was killed, and the pilots walked away. Take a listen to this.
Mayday, mayday, mayday. We're not going to make it. Please tell my wife, Molly, I love her, and my parents. I love them so much.
So imagine that, from thinking automatically that you were going to die because you were not going to make it back. And then all of a sudden, whapa, you make it. And so then it's a different tone, I would imagine, when it's all said and done. So there you go. Okay, so let's get into some other things as we are going down
the plot
of everything that's going on inside of the world of the news. Authorities are searching a home of Rio Rico tied to a kidnapping of Nancy Guthrie. Are getting pushback from a woman who lives there and says that she has no idea why her house is the center of the investigation. The woman, who is not identified, told TV stations that investigators have been reportedly going in and out of her home, taking photos and showing her surveillance video connected to Guthrie's disappearance. She also said the police asked her if she recognized the person in the footage or the clothes that were being worn. And she flatly said no. According to the woman, her son-in-law was detained earlier yesterday during a traffic stop, but she said that that he doesn't match the person that's been seen in the video and doesn't own any clothing that has been shown. She also said that her son-in-law hasn't been in trouble with the law since he was a minor. Police have not publicly identified the detained individual or confirmed whether the charges had been filed. Take a listen to this.
Oh, no, they came out telling us that they had somebody gave a tip that the lady was in my house. I don't know her name. ¿Cómo se llama? Nancy Guthrie? That we don't know. We don't know her at all. I don't know who she is. I don't know anything about her. They only said that they gave a tip that she was in my house. And I told them, you can go in and search my house. There's nobody there. I have nothing to hide. There's nobody in my house. And I don't know what's going on. I mean,
do you have any family members that might know?
No, they're investigating my son-in-law. He's not have nothing to do with that.
So there you go. Some information coming out of that one. So I don't know, kind of a weird one. And let me just ask kind of a strange question. Who asked someone, does your family member own clothes like this? Like, how would you know what clothes your family members own? Like, that's kind of a weird, I mean, I don't know. I have never heard anybody really ask anything like that, especially during a serious investigation. Becomes interesting, to say the least. So there you go. Let's continue talking about some other things going on real quick. A deadly shooting at a high school in British Columbia has left 10 people dead, including the suspected shooter, with dozens more injured. Police say a female suspect opened fire at Tumbler Ridge Secondary School, a small school in a remote community in northeastern BC. 6 victims were found inside of the school. 2 more were discovered at a connected residence, and another person died while being transported to the hospital. The suspected shooter was found dead at the scene from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. Authorities report that 25 people were evaluated for injuries, and two in critical condition, requiring airlift to another hospital. The suspect, identified, has not been released yet, and no motive has been confirmed. RCMP Superintendent Ken Floyd said investigators may struggle to determine why the attack happened, but will work to establish what led to it. He confirmed that the deceased suspect matched the description from earlier active shooter alert. Police searched nearby homes and properties to ensure were no additional victims or people connected to the incident. A shelter is in place in order to issued earlier in the day, was lifted later in that evening. Tumbler Ridge is a tight-knit community of about 2,400 residents, and the school serves roughly about 175 students in grades 7th through 12. Take a listen to this.
The devastation these families face, it's just impossible to understand what they're going through without going through it yourself. But I can say for myself, and I'm sure for many British Columbians, many Canadians, it makes us think about our kids' safety when they're going to school. We take it for granted. You go to school, you come home safe. And events like this give us pause.
I mean, I don't even know what to say. When it comes to school shootings, I never want to make this sound like it's normalized. It's just kind of crazy on how these things continue to occur, but that is definitely a conversation for a different day. I think it's a conversation for a different day. Maybe it shouldn't be said that way. Maybe it should be more along the lines that should be an ongoing conversation instead of a conversation for a different day. Maybe that's the way that we should look at it. So there you go. Okay, so let's continue talking real quick about some things that are going on inside of the world, because, hey, we would need to do this. A Texas grand jury has declined to charge a man who fatally shot his own daughter after a heated family argument that reportedly touched on politics and President Trump. Lucy Harrison, 23, was shot in the chest on January the 10th while visiting her father, Chris Harrison, at his home in North Dallas. She later died from her injuries. Harrison admitted during the inquest that he had a relapse into alcoholism and drank several glasses of wine that day. The shooting was initially investigated as a possible manslaughter, but Collin County grand jury ultimately chose not to indict. According to the testimony from Lucy's boyfriend, Sam Litter, father and daughter had been arguing days earlier about President Trump ahead of his second inauguration, and about Chris Harrison's conservative views, including his ownership of a Glock handgun. The confrontation escalated after Lucy posed a hypothetical question involving sexual assault, which Litter said drew a callous response from her father and left her visibly upset. Later that day, shortly before the family was set to leave for the airport, Harrison led Lucy into a bedroom. Moments later, a gunshot was heard. Harrison told the police that he had been watching the news and offered to show Lucy his gun during the segment on the gun violence, claiming that the weapon discharged accidentally and that he could not remember whether his finger was on the trigger. Responding officers noted that the smell of alcohol on his breath. In a statement through his attorney, Harrison said that he accepts responsibility and lives daily with the weight of his daughter's death. Lucy's mother described her as a passionate, outspoken, and deeply engaged with issues that she cared about. So there you go. I don't know. It becomes very interesting as we are talking. What do you think? It's kind of an interesting one for sure. Okay, so let's talk about some other stuff. Eric Schmidt, the 70-year-old billionaire and former Google CEO, is being linked to a 27-year-old German model after the two were spotted together at a World Economic Forum in Davos. According to the German newspaper Bild, yeah, that's what it says. Schmidt was seen alongside Gloria Sophie Banquet, the New York-based daughter of a Bavaria powerful minister of presidents. Bild splashed the story with photos, including one of the traditional Bavarian dress, and an openly wondered who is the much younger woman that Schmidt had fallen in love with. Bacanta is reportedly working on her PhD in New York and has a background in modeling. The report sparked chatter online. Schmidt's camp isn't feeding the fire. Representative Schmidt declined the comment. Bacanta did not respond to the media inquiry, so there you go. Okay, let's continue talking. I don't even know how that one made it into the seg, but we'll keep it. Chipotle, I almost said Shipley's. Chipotle is officially leaning into the wealthier customers, and yeah, that usually means prices are going up. On a recent earnings call, CEO Scott Boatwright said that the company's research shows about 60% of its core customers live in households making over $100,000 a year. Younger, higher income digital natives who care about clean food, clean ingredients, and high protein. And that's the crowd Chipotle wants more of. The company says that this gives them a confidence to lean in on that demographic to drive sales, whether people are eating solo or in groups. CFO Adam Rimmer confirmed that the menu prices are expected to rise 1% to 2% and keep up with higher costs. So there you go. I mean, it's getting to the point right now, the more that I read about this stuff, of course, and the more information that I acquire, that it is starting to look more and more that it might be worthwhile just to eat at home. I mean, keep in mind that when you go to a restaurant, markup is normally close to 300%. And that's fine. I mean, you're going, it's supposed to be a service industry. I get that. But then you have the tipflation thing. Then you have the 300% markup. Then you have this information that they're going to continue to raise the price. So I don't know. What do you start doing? What do you start doing with it? I mean, do you just go, hey, it's not worth going out anymore? Or do you kind of change the way that you're looking at things? I mean, I don't know. I always ask that same weird questions of what should be done. So there you go. Okay, so let's continue talking about some other stuff because, yeah, a lot of things going on inside of the world. So, yeah, let me go through this real quick. Mass figured in a latex gloves with guns seen on the Nancy Guthrie doorstep on the morning of her kidnapping. Take a listen to this. Investigators released a chilling new video and the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, the mother of Today's Show co-host Savannah Guthrie, and raises the stakes fast. The FBI says the doorbell camera footage shows a mass figure wearing black latex glove, carrying a backpack and a gun, tampering with Nancy's Nest camera in the early hours of the morning, and then that she vanished. The person is wearing a ski mask. Investigators can't confirm the gender, though the same images appear to show facial hair above the upper lip. In one frame that looks like a gun that is clipped to a person's waist, and another it appears to have a small flashlight in his mouth. The footage took days to retrieve because Nancy didn't have a Nest subscription. I mean, that's going to be a thing. Once accessed, the FBI released the images as the search entered the 10th day. You know that's going to be a big thing there about the Nest subscription. I'm not lying as I say that. Or making that shit up, because you know that people are going to be like, oh, yeah, we have to have a subscription to all our stuff now in regards to this. So Arizona authorities say that they've detained a person for questioning in the disappearance of Nancy, the mother of, as we have already discussed, as the investigation intensifies. The Pima County Sheriff Department confirmed that the individual was stopped and detained during a traffic stop south of Tucson yesterday. Officials are now preparing to search the location tied to the person, though they have not said whether the detainee is the same armed masked figure seen and then in the newly released doorbell camera footage that appears to show someone tampering with Nancy's doorbell. So there you go. Some other things authorities say. Okay, I already said. I think I've already said that part. So let's not go into it. Nancy Gunther's family has said that they do not recognize the terrifying masked figure caught on the camera outside of Nancy's home as the investigation started combing through the bushes and her daughter Annie's home. Nancy's 3 children said that they do not recognize the suspect in the video and are pleading with the public to help catching the person. So there you go. Still a lot of stuff going on there in the regards of this case. I don't think you're going to see anything changing dramatically in regards to this, but I mean, I'm just saying there's probably going to be a lot more stuff coming down the pike in regards of anything else that you're going to be taking a look at. I'm just saying, so I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean that from a standpoint that we need to probably be looking about what else is going to come out of this, because it's getting weird. Now, I'm going to tell you some other things. If you jump around online about some of this stuff, there are tons of conspiracy theories that are coming across now in regards of what's going on with this case. Now, I will tell you, we can go down that rabbit hole, but I would recommend strongly that if you're going to go start looking, you look, but don't go too far dangling down that hole. I only say that from the standpoint of there's so many conspiracy theories at the moment, and they're only theories, as I always like to say, until they're proven to be factual. And don't get me wrong, when you are trying to work on stuff that you're coming up with theories for, you have to build a model. And then once you build that model, then you come up with the concept of what you're trying to figure out. And guess what? Normally, people start leaning that general direction of what they're trying to do. Because they're trying to drive everything that way to prove that their concept is right. I mean, everything that you could be possibly wrong about feels right until it's proven that it's wrong. Think about it. Think about the moment that you found out that something you believed in the whole time was incorrect, and somebody pointed it out, and you finally got enough information to believe that, oh yeah, I was wrong the whole time. It felt like you were right until you weren't. It's kind of just how it goes. Anyways, with that being said, 32 minutes past the top of the hour.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so we talked about it yesterday, but let's continue talking about it today. You're running old code. Yep, I said it. And if that made you uncomfortable yesterday, good, because today we're going to talk about what that old code actually does to you. Seriously. Because old code doesn't just slow things down. It doesn't just make things, make things go at work specifically harder. Old code locks you into believing that frozen systems can control living reality. And that belief, that's where everything starts to fall apart. See, this isn't new. We've seen this movie before, just not in safety. Classical martial arts made the same mistake. Karate, Taekwondo, Kung Fu, all of them started as a living response to violence, uncertainty, and chaos. And then someone tried to preserve them. They tried to freeze movements. They tried to codify timing. They tried to standardize survival. They turned something fluid into something formal. And the moment they did that, systems started lying. Because the real conflict doesn't wait for forms. It doesn't respect stances. It doesn't care about the position that you practice in a quiet room with rules and a mat. Your opponent isn't a robot. They're mostly not predictable. They're not compliant. They're fluid, alive, adapted. Sound familiar? Because that's work. That's operation. That's reality. But instead of admitting that, what did we do? We wrote procedures. We created fixed positions, set movements, approved responses. We arrested the flux. And then we told people, if something goes wrong, you must not have followed the form. The old code thinking. the devotion to form over reality. There's reasons that sculptors' metaphor matters here. I better stop hitting that button. The sculptor doesn't find truth in adding more clay. They don't say, let me put more clay, more layers onto this until it looks right. They strip away what doesn't belong. They remove the inessentials. But safety keeps adding clay. More rules, more controls, more steps, more boxes to check. Layer after layer after layer until nobody can see the original shape anymore. And then we start back and then we stand back and wonder why the system doesn't move when reality does. Here's the uncomfortable part about the whole thing. Most safety systems don't fail because they're poorly designed. They fail because they are too loyal to the past. They are too rigid to attempts to preserve certainty in a world that refuses to stay still. And instead of adapting, we defend them. We protect them. We punish people for deviating from them. And even when deviation is the only thing keeping the system alive. I'm going to tell you, that's not disciplined. That is blind devotion. And blind devotion leads to systemic uselessness. Because when work doesn't match the procedures, we don't update the systems. We blame the humans. When reality doesn't follow the script, we don't question the script. We double down on enforcement. That's old code behavior. That's freezing something living and calling it control. Formlessness means chaos. And let me be clear about that. Formlessness means the ability to assume the form required by the moment. It means skill without fixation. It means understanding principles deeply enough that you don't need to cling to a position. In fighting, that's survival. In safety, that's learning. But old code can't tolerate that. No, like seriously, it cannot tolerate that. Duh. So, old code needs obedience. Old code needs repeatability. Old code needs people to move like robots in systems designed for people who are anything but. And then we act surprised when workers adapt anyways, because we have to. Work doesn't stop being fluid just because we wrote it down. Reality doesn't pause for approval. And the more we try to arrest the flux, the more dangerous the system becomes, not safer. So let me say this clearly. If your safety program only works when people follow it perfectly, then it doesn't work. If your system can't adapt without breaking rules, then the rules are the problem. If your investigations focus on form violation instead of reality mismatches, you're not learning. You're preserving the illusion. That's old code. And old code doesn't run inefficiency. Eventually, it just crashes. The question isn't whether the system needs structure. The question is whether the structure is alive and not fossilized. Because there's a difference between discipline and rigidity. And most organizations crossed that line a long time ago. So before we add another rule, before you rewrite another procedure, before you enforce compliance one more time, ask yourself this. Are you stripping away that no longer that serves reality, or are you adding more clay to a statue that stopped moving years ago? Because you can't control a living system by freezing it. And the longer you try, the more damage the old code is doing, if anything, right in front of you.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You're listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
You ever hit the wall, burn out, stressed, or just feeling that everything is piling up and thought, yeah, I probably need to talk to someone? The problem is finding the therapist who actually takes your insurance feels impossible at times. That's where Rula comes in. Rula is a healthcare company that makes mental health care easy to access and actually affordable. They partner with over 100 insurance plans So the average copay is about $15 a session, sometimes even less. With Rula, you get matched with the right therapist for you, not just whoever's available. Their network has over 15,000 licensed professionals, and you can book an appointment as soon as tomorrow. No wait list, no frustrations, just therapy that works with your schedule and your insurance. Thousands of people are already using Rula to get affordable, high-quality therapy that actually covered by insurance. Visit Rula.com/safetyfm to get started. After you sign up, you'll be asked how you heard about them. Please support our show and let them know that we sent you there. That's RULA.com/safetyfm. You deserve mental health care that works with you, not against your budget. Go to Rula.com/safetyfm right now to get started. That's RULA.com/safetyfm, because you deserve mental health care that works with you, not against your budget.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete Signal Transmission Trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion, the book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all three books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
If you're anything like me, you have certain tendencies to put things off, such as filing taxes, seeing the doctor, working on that home improvement project that you're supposed to be doing, but you just haven't gotten to it. And while most of the times it works out, the one thing in life that you really cannot afford to wait on is setting up term coverage life insurance. You've probably seen life insurance commercials on TV and thought, yeah, I'll look into it later. Well, the answer is no. This isn't something that you can wait for. Choose life insurance through Ladder today. Ladder is 100% digitals, no doctors, no needles, no paperwork. When you apply for $3 million in coverage or less, just answer a few questions about your health in an application. Ladder's customers rate them 4.8 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot, and they've made Forbes' best life insurance in 2021's list. You just need a few minutes and a phone or a laptop to apply. Ladder's smart algorithm works in real time, so you'll find out if you're instantly approved. No hidden fees, cancel anytime, get full refund if you change your mind in the first 30 days. Ladder policies are issued by insurers with long proven histories of paying claims. They're rated A and A+ by AM Best. Finally, since life insurance costs more as you age, now is the time to cross it off your list. So go to ladder.com/safetyfm today to see if you're instantly approved. That's LADDER life.com/safetyfm. Ladderlife.com/safetyfm.
From Future Story News in Brussels, I'm William Denslow. 9 people have died in a shooting at a school and a nearby home in Western Canada. Officials say more than 25 people were injured in the attack in Tumbler Ridge in British Columbia. Israel's Prime Minister is expected to push for wider negotiations with Iran that go beyond the country's nuclear program when he meets President Trump in Washington later Wednesday. And China's lashed out at the United Kingdom's decision to expand a visa program for Hong Kong residents, calling it despicable.
Well, you know that here at Safety FM and Radio Big, we're always trying to look for life hacks. So with the busy season just around the corner, you might be looking for wholesome, convenient meals for your jam-packed days. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kits, can help you fuel up with Fast Chef prepared, dietitian approved, and ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You'll save time, eat well, and stay on track with your healthy lifestyle. Refresh your healthy habits without missing a beat. Choose from 34 weekly flavored packs. Dietitian-approved meals ready to eat in 2 minutes. All you need to do is head over to factorsmeals.com/safetyfm50 and use code safetyfm50 to get 50% off. That's code safetyfm50 at factormeals.com/safetyfm50 to get 50% off. Go there. Do it now.
Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK.
If I can't hear it, do I still within? If I can't tune in, would I be better off dead? The signal face still screams in.
Okay. 45 minutes past the top of the hour. Still hanging out here on the Rated R Safety Show. Yeah, this one's called Can't Tune In. Take a listen.
Still sky bleeding electric rain.
I know, I kind of sit back sometimes and go, this is mostly music styles that I like. I know.
A mirror change.
I have to tell you, I need to do something with all these songs. We'll figure it out at some point, I guess.
Unbroken sound.
Okay, so let's get rolling right away inside of the world of the multiverse, because that's kind of what we do around here. Just a little FYI as we are hanging out. Anyways, let me tell you about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime, and that's about my friends at To Write Love on Our Arms. All you have to do is go to their website, twloha.com, and click on the section that says Find Help. Once you get there, you're going to see all kinds of information related to addiction, depression, eating disorders, self-injury, suicide, trauma, grief support, just to name a few. That's twloha.com. Listen, no matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help. And we want you to know that people have been where you are now. Healing is possible. All you have to do, like I said, go to twloha.com. A plethora of information. Even if you just want to support the cause, they have a store section inside of there of different kind and style shirts that you can actually purchase just to kind of help move this forward in regards of what's going on. You never know about one of the messagings on one of those shirts on how it can have an impact on somebody's day. Not a joke as I say that. I wear that brand of clothing a good chunk of times. I mean, so there you go. Anyways, twloha.com, To Write Love on Her Arms. Okay, so let's start talking about this, because I am looking at it. We are closer and closer to this event. We are having an event, the Conklin Workshop, if I may call it that, featuring, of course, Todd Conklin, in regards of getting people together to have a discussion about how to look at an incident investigation and how you format it through the lens of HOP. This is actually taking place in Hotel Santa Fe in Santa Fe, New Mexico, March the 31st through April the 1st. Would love to see you there. We will have, of course, Todd Conklin, Brett Sutton, Ann Liren, and Redonda Voigt all there talking about a case that actually happened, or a firsthand experience that happened with Redonda, and letting you guys know exactly what happened and how we could frame it differently and take a look at how we would investigate this. So all you have to do is go to either the QR code that's on screen, take a scan of that. If you can't do that, you can go to safetyfm.com and click on the section that says Live Events. Once you get there, it will show you what is available for those days. So would love to see you there. Hotel Santa Fe in Santa Fe, New Mexico, March the 31st through April the 1st of 2026. So there you go. A lot of stuff will be going down at that event. And if you have not been to New Mexico, especially to the Santa Fe section, definitely worth a trip worth taking, because they do have some museums of art and things along those lines there. They also do have what you would call like a living museum, or a interactive art museum by the name of Meow Wolf. And if you definitely have not been to a Meow Wolf, I would strongly encourage you on taking the little trip there, because that is definitely something worth taking a gander at. No doubt about that. Okay, so take a listen to this real quick. A family trip to McDonald's in Singapore turned into a hospital visit after a 3-year-old girl was scalded by boiling water that was mistakenly served to her instead of a cold water. A former Singapore soccer player, Radahan Mohammed, says accidentally in the incident that happened on February the 1st when they asked McDonald's staffers to fill the daughter's cup insulated with cold water, the filling area wasn't visible and there was no warning, and the bottle was handed back to the daughter like everything was normal. His daughter took a drink and burned her tongue. Mohammed said the injury left the toddler unable to eat, drink properly, and she is now afraid of her own water bottle. Videos posted on Instagram show the child crying in pain while being treated inside of the restaurant. According to Mohammed, the staff member initially claimed that he had asked for hot water, and then it later admitted that he misheard the request. He called the incident avoidable and blamed complacency, while also acknowledging that he and his wife should have checked the bottle before giving it to his daughter. She is stable now. Mohammed said that he's adding that the family hopes that the outlet tightens procedures so it doesn't happen to another child. All what's going on down there in Singapore, or something that was going on there in Singapore. Anyways, it is Whip 'em Out Wednesday. Let's bring some John Smalls into our life and let him tell us exactly about the Motivation Minute.
Courtesy of JaceCaseMedical.com. Today's quote was submitted by Dan. Edgar Mitchell said, "On the return trip home, gazing through 240,000 miles of space toward the stars and the planet from which I had come, I suddenly experienced the universe as intelligent, loving, and harmonious." This was from Apollo 14 astronaut Edgar Mitchell in The Way of the Explorer. Very cool. I can only imagine how beautiful that would be, and I mean that literally. I will only imagine it. If I were offered the chance to strap onto a rocket and shoot into space, I'd say no thanks. I like it right here. I think I'm good. I'm sure the view is great, but you know what? Other places have a good view, like right here on the ground. I like my view, especially when my wife is around. Then I always have a good view. This week, we're celebrating 26 years of marriage. It's out of this world, but I'm still staying grounded right here. Love you, Heidi.
The Motivation Minute.
This has been the Motivation Minute. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
Israeli warplanes and artillery pounded targets across Ukraine through the night.
Officials in Kyiv reported fresh missile and drone attacks hitting energy sites and residential areas, forcing thousands into shelters. Air raid sirens sounded repeatedly as crews fought fires and searched damaged buildings for survivors. Russia's defense ministry claimed successful strikes on military infrastructure, while Ukrainian leaders urged more air defenses from allies. Benjamin Wright reporting.
A crowded migrant boat overturned off the Libyan coast, leaving dozens dead. Joseph Eckerson with the latest.
Rescue agencies said the vessel capsized in rough seas after setting off with far more people than it could safely carry. At least 53 people, including 2 babies, were confirmed dead and many more remain missing. The International Organization for Migration warned that nearly 500 people have already died.
Hong Kong media tycoon Jimmy Lai was sentenced to a lengthy prison term in a closely watched national security case.
Judges at the High Court handed Lai 20 years behind bars after convicting him under the territory's sweeping security law. Prosecutors accused him of colluding with foreign forces and endangering national security through his pro-democracy media work. Chris Anderson reporting.
This is the latest news headlines.
Federal lawmakers are preparing to review millions of pages of unredacted Justice Department files tied to Jeffrey Epstein.
The Department of Justice notified Congress that members will be allowed to examine over 3 million documents previously released in heavily redacted form. An internal review concluded that while Epstein abused underage girls, investigators found limited evidence of a broader trafficking ring serving powerful men. Lawrence Keller reporting.
President Donald Trump continues to face fresh criticism over a racist social media post, even as he refuses to apologize or walk back the message.
The post, which depicted former President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama as primates in a jungle scene, was removed after widespread backlash. Trump later told reporters he would not say sorry, insisting he didn't make a mistake, and blaming a staffer for the image. Kyle Norris reporting.
Wall Street opened the new week on a quieter note as U.S. stock indexes drifted after a strong global rally led by Japanese markets.
Major averages slipped or moved sideways in early trading, following significant gains in Asia and Europe. Tokyo's Nikkei 225 jumped after Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi's ruling party secured a two-thirds supermajority in parliamentary elections. Analysts say investors are weighing robust earnings and political stability in Japan. Kevin Sanders reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
Tearing the ass out of you like gas station sushi.
Okay, so there you go. Let's talk about some things that happened back on this date, back in 1975. Margaret Thatcher defeats Edward Heath in a conservative leadership. So there you go. What else happened? In 1979, 43 million watched Elvis on NBC. In 1990, Nelson Mandela, political prisoner of 27 years, is freed in South Africa. And let me see what else. In 1998, lyrics to Candle in the Wind are auctioned off for $442,500. Yep, so that all happened back on this day. If we're looking at some celebrity birthdays for today, let's go ahead and go through some of those. Tina Louise turns 92. Jeb Bush, the former governor of Florida and brother of President George W. Bush, just in case, turned 73. Sheryl Crow turned 64. Sarah Palin turned 62. Jennifer Aniston turns 57. Brandy the singer, she turns 47 today. Matthew Lawrence turns 46. No, like seriously, he turns 46 today. Also, Kelly Rowland turns 45 and Taylor Lautner turns 34. So there you go. Let's talk about some things that you ought to know. Tennis legend Monica Seles is continuing to fight through a rare autoimmune disease as she works her way back to the gym. The 52-year-old who won 9 Grand Slam titles during her Hall of Fame career revealed last August she was diagnosed with, myasthenia gravis, a neuromuscular autoimmune disorder that causes muscle weakness. Despite the diagnosis, Seles says that she's focused on staying positive, keeping her body as healthy as possible. Over the weekend, she shared an emotional photo from the gym, signaling her commitment to maintaining a healthy lifestyle while managing the conditions. So there you go. Also, in some other information, a new study suggests that roughly 20 million Americans living with long COVID may face higher risk of developing dementia. Long COVID is defined as symptoms that persist for at least 3 months after COVID infection and can include severe fatigue, brain fog, shortness of breath, and chronic pain, despite surveys indicating that about 8% of the U.S. adults are dealing with long COVID. The condition remains poorly understood. Researchers say that they are still working on identifying long-term effects and potential neurological consequences, including whether lingering COVID systems could increase the likelihood of cognitive decline later in life. Also, in some other news, Minnesota big federal immigration enforcement operation, which it was brought thousands of ICE and other federal agents to the state, has sparked major controversy and could be winding down very soon, according to Democratic Governor Tim Walz. So there you go. That's what you need to know. So there you go. If I could give you some words of wisdom for today, a mistake that makes you humble is better than an achievement that makes you arrogant. So keep that in mind. Anyways, at the top of the hour, I'll be going over to RadioBig.fm if you want to come and hang out with me for the next couple hours or so as we talk about the world of music and entertainment. If not, you can hang out here with the likes of Sheldon Primus as he talks about the world of safety consulting. Anyways, I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Safety FM and or Radio Big. The content discussed, including examples of analysis, is provided for illustrative purposes only. It should not be applied as the sole solution in real-world scenarios, as it is based on limited and dated open source information. Any assumptions made during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are not reflective of Safety FM and or Radio Big. No portion of this broadcast, podcast, or radio show may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of Safety FM and or Radio Big. For permission requests, please contact Safety FM or Radio Big directly.
Every prayer's a looping spin. If I can't hear it, am I still with?
This isn't a safety manual. It's a transmission. Jay Allen, PhD, host of the Rated R Safety Show and founder of Safety FM, has spent years pulling back the curtain on the systems we work in and the ones we don't talk about. What started as a fatal crash on the 405 became a search for truth through behavior-based safety, human and organizational performance, simulation theory, and everything in between. Safety, in my opinion, is raw, reflective, and real. From burnout to breakthroughs, from the matrix to the moment someone says, "This doesn't feel right." This book doesn't give you answers. It hands you the signal. Safety, in my opinion. Available now, wherever books and audiobooks are found.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete signal transmission trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion. The book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all three books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
In safety, in my opinion, you woke up. You saw the system, the simulation, the structure that trained you to mistake compliance for care. Safety mutation. Information misdirection picks up where the signal fractured. Because the system didn't shut you down, it rebranded you. It packaged your voice, sold your rebellion as a new initiative, and smiled while doing it. This isn't a manual. It's a decoded transmission about what happens when slogans replace stories, when safety becomes marketing, and when truth gets mirrored so perfectly, you forget it was ever yours. You'll see the mutation. Learning teams turned into theater, zero harm turned into optics, and feedback turned into formatting. But the signal didn't die. It was redirected. Safety Mutation is Book 2 of the Signal Transmission Trilogy. Available now in print, Kindle, and audiobook. Narrated by the author Jay Allen, PhD. Because the system adapted. Now it's your move.